Hello Year 7 Maths. Today it's Lesson 9 Week 4 and I am going to go through the fraction worksheet. It's only one page, and if you need any extra help you can go to the Jack Plus text. Look at section 4.5 pages 107 to 111. Alright, so in question 1 it wants you to work out the addition or subtraction of the following fractions. So let's have a look at a few examples. Just remember they've got different denominators, so we're going to have to change the denominators so that they're the same number. So when you look at the first one in A, you've got denominators of 2 and 6. So first of all you look, does the smaller one, can you multiply it by a number to get the larger number? And yes, we can. So we're going to multiply by 3. So I'm just going to say 3 times because it's hard to say times 3 and be able to read it. So it's the same thing, 3 times. Multiply it. 3 times 1 is 3 and 3 times 2 is 6. And we're adding 1/6 to it, so I'll write 1/6. So now you've changed your problem, even though it is exactly the same, and they're both have a denominator of 6. So we know the rule, if they've both got a denominator of 6 with addition, we can keep the name and we can add the numerators. So we're going to add them, 3 plus 1. 3 plus 1 is 4 over denominator of 6. And we can see we can simplify it. So if we divide top and bottom by 2, because they're both even numbers, we end up with 4 divided by 2 is 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So our answer is 2/3. You might like to do these problems in your maths notebook or workbook because it may not fit on this worksheet. Let's have a look at another one. We'll go to one that's a bit more difficult. So let's have a look at I. Now in I, you've got denominators of 5 and 7. Now that's a bit tricky. What is the lowest common multiple of 5 and 7? And if you can't see it straight away, we can't double the smaller number. It doesn't go into 7. So we know we have to multiply them together. So this is what we do. 5, we want to change the denominator, so we're going to multiply by 7. And you must do it to the top as well. Whatever you do to the top, you must do to the bottom, and vice versa. And the 7, we know to get it to a common denominator, we're going to multiply top and bottom by 5. So, using your tables or using your trusty calculator, 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 5 is 35. Plus, still got to write the plus, 1 times 5 is 5. 7 times 5 is 35. Now, we look at that and we say, right, we've got the same denominator, so we can keep that name. And we can add the numerators, 7 plus 5. So adding them together, 7 plus 5 is 12. And then we've got 35 on the bottom. We can't simplify that fraction. They're not both divisible by 3 or 4 or 2. So that is the answer. Let's go down to the last one of this question 1. It's subtraction. 1/4 minus 1/8. So once again, look for the smaller number. Can you multiply it by a number to get 8? Yes, we can. We can multiply by 2. So let's multiply by 2. Top and bottom. 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 times 4 is 8. Then we subtract 1/8. They now have the same denominator. You can write that down, which is 8. And we can subtract the numerators, 2 minus 1. You say to yourself, 2 minus 1 is 1. And the denominator is 8. Let's have a look at the next one. Question 2. 7/10 plus 2/5. So once again, does the smaller number at the denominator, can you multiply it to get 10? Yes, we can. We can multiply by 2. So write that down, top and bottom. What you must do to the top, you must do to the bottom. So we've got 7/10, write it as you see it, plus 2 times 2 is 4, and 5 times 2 is 10. Now once again, they've got the same denominator, so we can rewrite them with the denominator, and we can add the numerators, 7 plus 4. So 7 plus 4 is 11/10. Now once again, we've got to change that to a mixed number because it's an improper fraction. The top number, the numerator, is larger than the denominator. So you've got 10 plus 1 to make 11. 10 out of 10 is 1 whole. If you drew a cake, you'd be able to see that. And we're left with 1. So it's 1 1/10. Well done if you got that correct. These are all additions, so we'll go to the last one. Let's have a look at L. We've got the numbers 4 and 5. 4 doesn't go into 5, so maybe we need to multiply it by the other denominator again. That's the quick way. So we'll say multiply by 5, and the other side multiply by 4, which we got from there. Once again, 5 times 3 is 15. 4 times 5 is 20. And we're going to add 4 times 1, or 1 times 4 is 4. And 5 times 4 is 20. So once again, we can see that we've got the same denominator, which is 20. And we're going to add the numerators, 15 plus 4. Add up those numerators, 15 plus 4 is 19, and the denominator is 20. So that's your answer. We can't simplify that at all, so well done if you got that correct. Alright, question 3. This is the last one on the page, and there's nothing on the other side. So let's look at A. This is all subtraction, this question. 3/5 minus 3/10. So look, does the lower number, could you multiply it by a number to get 10? Yes, we can. We can multiply by 2. Once again, 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 2 is 10. And we're going to subtract 3/10. So once again, we've got the same denominator. We can write that down. And we can subtract the numerators. 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3 is 3, and the denominator is 10. So that was hopefully easy for you to understand. Let's have a look at one that might be a little bit more difficult. Let's have a look at C. 1/3 minus 1/5. Now you look at that and you say, well, 3 doesn't go into 5, so I'll just have to multiply 3 by the 5 and multiply the 5 by the 3 to get the common denominator of 15. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 5, and on the other side multiply by 3. 5 times 1 is 5. 3 times 5 is 15, minus 1 times 3 is 3, and 5 times 3 is 15. Once again, we've got a common denominator of 15, and the numerators, we've got 5 minus 3. 5 minus 3 is 2, and we're dividing by 15. We can't simplify that because 2 doesn't go into 15. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, please either contact your teacher by email. You can go back and listen to this video again if it'll help you. and I hope that you've learned something. Don't forget you can use Jack Plus. Bye.